local, lethal, and loud. This is the Scooter McGee Show on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Good evening and welcome back, Gotham. Good evening, Metropolis, Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS, and the rest of you. I am Scooter McGee. We are live inside the Pro Realty Old Town. CRP 4x4 Studios. Like 8 different live reads for this hour. Greeley Stampede tickets we start giving away tomorrow night. 1 week from tomorrow. Well, we got Friday Fest tomorrow night. That's the Greeley Stampede kickoff downtown here. So if you guys are down with that and you see me outside smoking, come by and say hi. Just don't tell management I what? What? Oh, that's right. Damon said I could. Maybe pick that up. New hobby. I am Scooter McGee. Headlines now up at 1310kfk.com. To the stars and beyond. I'd like to point out, first of all, 1929, every physicist, astronomer, mathematician, scientist of the day, when it came to the discussion of space, said that there was only one galaxy, the Milky Way. It is 2018. There are anywhere from 100 billion different galaxies. Some numbers suggest 200 billion, 300 billion galaxies. Arrogance of knowledge in less than 100 years. From the wide world of space and physics, for the first time, astronomers have directly imaged the formation and expansion of a fast-moving jet of material ejected when the powerful gravity of a supermassive black hole ripped apart a star that wandered too close. Scientists tracked the event with radio and infrared telescopes, including the National Science Foundation's Very Long Base Array, the VLBA, in a pair of colliding galaxies called ARP-299, approximately 150 million light years from Earth. At the core of one of the galaxies, a black hole 20 million times more massive than our sun shredded a star, more than twice our sun's mass, setting off a chain of events that reveal important details. Only a small number of such, what astronomers call stellar deaths, actually called tidal disruption events, TDEs. Only a small number have ever been detected. Scientists hypothesizing that they may be a more common occurrence. Theorists suggesting that the material pulled from the doomed star forms a rotating disk around the black hole, emitting intense X-rays and visible light, and also launches jets of material outward from the poles of the disk at nearly the speed of light. Miguel Perez Torres of the Astrophysical Institute in Granada, Spain, pointing out, never before have we been able to directly observe the formation and evolution of a jet from just one of these events. First indications coming in January 30th, 2005. Using the William Herschel telescope, astronomers in the Canary Islands discovered a light burst of infrared emissions coming from the nucleus of one of the colliding galaxies, that of ARP-299. That was January 30th, 2005. July 17th, 2005, the VLBA, the Very Long Baseline Array, revealed a new distant source of radio emissions coming from the same location. As time passed, the new object stayed bright, and infrared and radio wavelengths, not invisible light and X-rays, This coming from Seppo Mattila from the University of Turku in Finland. The most likely explanation, he says, is that thick interstellar gas and dust near the galaxy's center absorbed the X-rays and visible light and then re-radiated it as infrared, which is what the VLBA picked up. Researchers using the Nordic Optical Telescope in the Canary Islands and NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope, they're now following the object's infrared emissions. Carried out for nearly a decade, the jet expanding in one direction, just as would be expected of a jet, and its material as it plumes out. Digital images, they're not images, digital renderings, of course, up at 1310 KFK on my social media. That worked. All right, that one now can stay as an insert. Let me figure out a new clock for him tonight, all right? Yep, on the numbers. All right, more headlines as we go. Well, I'm debating science or technology first. Yeah, no. Well, our next one's Mars. I mean, how bad could a Martian storm really be? Really? You want to take a look? And maybe look at the Opportunity rover footage from the 12th? Holy! The good news is the storm hasn't killed the rover yet. Sorry, the storm isn't as dramatic as some of the movies and books, but gee, wow. Surface winds on the planet's surface reaching 60-plus miles an hour. Less than, half the speed of some of the hurricanes here on Earth. Probably not enough to rip up all the equipment, of major equipment NASA's been sending. But conditions changing on the surface right now regarding a very large and what NASA scientists are calling a violent dust storm on Mars. Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, they're saying, here's why it's not looking the same on the video. Oh, good. Pray tell. How many times have you had to change the filter now so you're starting to actually show the world that there's an atmosphere on Mars? Okay, where are we going with this one now, guys? Well, according to William Farrell, a scientist, when we should probably be genuflecting when we say that, from NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland. Well, yeah, you gotta kind of wait for him. He's a stuttering little fool. Wind on Mars isn't quite as powerful. Third rock, fourth rock, that doesn't make sense, but keep going. Checked out the storms on Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, have you? Jupiter, Saturn. Come on, Scooter, you know better now. Pluto's not a real planet. Yeah, and St. Christopher isn't the patron saint of bad drivers either. Not anymore, you're not. You're out. We gotta make way for Sister Mary What's-Her-Toes. Off you go. Yeah, well, the wind isn't as powerful on Mars as it is here on Earth. Mars' atmospheric pressure is a lot less than Earth. So things get blown around, but just not with the same intensity. Is Goddard Space Center hiring out-of-work idiot DJs? I can come up with a better explanation than that. epic scale, these dust storms. Kind of making the Oklahoma Dust Bowl kind of look like a Rose Bowl day parade. It's just they're not as, cinematically dramatic. Yeah, but we still saw the video footage. It's pretty impressive. The atmosphere is different, so stuff blows around differently. Yeah, okay. Sure. I wonder if you could sell that at a stand without getting pulled over by the cops. We'll be back, Gotham.
I met my old lover on the street last night. She seemed so glad to see me. I just smiled. And we talked about some old times, and we drank ourselves some beers. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy after all these years.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market. And it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right. Serve the client. Turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change, but Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
Well, I'm glad to hear Chris is okay. What's the condition of his car?
It can be fixed. I'm just waiting to hear from my insurance adjuster as to where.
We'll take it over to Auto Collision Specialists. They've repaired my cars for years.
I wanted to, but my adjuster says I'll have to pay additional costs out of my own pocket to have it repaired at Auto Collision Specialists.
Stop. You pay your insurance premiums in good faith every month with the expectation that if you have an accident, your insurance company will pay what's necessary to repair your car correctly. In many cases, that's not what happens. Scare tactics like threatening to make you pay out of pocket or not warranting the work are tricks that will not be tolerated at Auto Collision Specialists. You can rest assured we have your best interests at heart and will do everything in our power to make sure your insurance company fulfills its commitment to you. Remember, insurance companies don't fix cars. We do.
Auto Collision Specialists, we'll take care of that.
What may be junk to you just might be another man's treasure. From stamps, sports memorabilia, silverware, or old jewelry, what may be junk to you just might be another man's treasures. Located at 2002 9th Street in Greeley, Another Man's Treasures can take these old items and convert them into cold, hard cash. Located at 2002 9th Street, remember Another Man's Treasure.
So you think the Pawn Stars are in Vegas, huh? Have you been to City National Pawn? 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley, and you're the Pawn Star. With great deals on commercial and industrial tools, electronics, smartphones, laptops, and fine jewelry, so many great deals and a constantly changing inventory guarantee you get the best deal in town at City National Pawn. Need quick cash fast? City National Pawn has got you covered there too. Monday through Friday and Saturdays, remember, you're the Pawn Star at City National Pawn, 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley.
Cutting-edge commentary from the edge of reality. The Scooter McGee Show is back on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Okay, welcome back. Here we go. Thanks for the words of support there, Neil. I appreciate it. I am Scooter McGee. You can find me on the World Wide Web, 1310kfk.com. Coming up after the bottom of the hour break, we will get to On This Day in Illuminati History. Starting tomorrow night, we got Stampede ticket giveaways. Now, I got to tell you now, I've got to take Monday night off. Monday, in theory, I have to go down for the gasket switch, and they make me take it off. In theory, I could be all right and be able to speak, but we don't know. So we'll find out. But in theory, there might be a best of Monday, but I'm just going to tell you now. All right. Antarctica back in the news. I didn't know it was in the news before. News of Antarctica's accelerating ice melt, garnering worldwide headlines yesterday after the revelation that 3 trillion tons of ice has been lost in the sea since 1992. I went through that much ice 4 years ago at the Greeley Stampede. What are you talking about? The location of the ice melt is important, determining the future of coastal communities. Oh, you mean real estate values? I'm sorry. The future of coastal communities. That's code for greed. Due to West Antarctica melting, it turns out the United States coastline will, we're going to have to pay a sea level rise tax of about 25%. What? Due to West Antarctica melting, it turns out the United States coastline will be hit extra hard, paying a sea level rise tax of about 25%. The reason for the 25% sea level rise tax centers on gravity.
You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying, steaming, stinking, nasty sack of liquid crap.
Robert DeCanto, con man, climate scientist at the University of Massachusetts, says that as ice sheets melt, there's an elastic response from the Earth. The Earth's gravitational field changes because we're redistributing mass around the planet. Scooter McGee, high school dropout here. Fine, but why are we getting taxed 25%? Well, when the ice sheet loses ice, it reduces its gravitational pull towards itself, which means the local sea level near the ice sheet, be it Greenland or Antarctica, is reduced. Yeah, sorry again. Scooter and McGee over here. What the does that have to do with the price of tea in Antarctica? Well, even if the entire Greenland ice sheet were to melt, we're talking about in Antarctica here. Greenland, Antarctica, Southern Hemisphere. Greenland, Northern Hemisphere. Really sorry to bother you here, Professor. I'm sorry, not Professor. Con man. I'm sorry, I always get those two mixed up. Client scientist. What does Greenland have to do with in Antarctica and 25% of our money going to a global internet consortium? Internet was the wrong word. A global international consortium of criminals. Even if the entire Greenland ice sheet were to melt, places closest to Greenland, such as Northern Europe and Northeast Asia, Northeastern North America, wouldn't even know. If you're close to the ice sheet, that's losing mass. You don't really feel the effects as much. Yeah, again, what the does this have to do with 25% tax? It's the distant places that compensate for the loss in mass. It's totally flipped upside down for Antarctica. There's a broad bullseye around North America. Okay, your last comment regarding northeastern North America, I believe, is Canada. They're already pissed at us. You can give our 25% tax to them. Sea level rise for the future, it's not happening at the same rate in every part of the world. This gravity thing has a big impact. I asked you 9 times, you gave me 4 different answers, and you won't explain where 25% of our money is going. A 25% tax. A sea level rise tax of 25%. The loss of mass in Antarctica. By the way, Gotham, Antarctica is a landmass. The North Pole is ice. So technically, I mean, it's a continent. Now there's ice on top of it, but there's land. See, that's my point here. Yeah. Kind of a problem here. Kind of a big problem here. The loss of mass in Antarctica. Ice melted. The mass, the continent, the terra firma that is known as Antarctica hasn't gone anywhere. DeCanto and other researchers say that projections in studies published yesterday don't present a true worst-case scenario for the Antarctic ice melt. New research also presenting possible scenarios all the way through 2070. In this, greenhouse gas emissions continue virtually unabated. This leads to global average surface temperatures rising 3.5 degrees Celsius. Almost 6.5 degrees Fahrenheit.
You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying, steaming, stinking, nasty sack of liquid crap.
The rate of sea level rise would be 5 millimeters a year. Economic losses. $1 trillion a year. Told you it was about money. Penn State University. Climate scientist Richard Alley says again, this isn't even the worst case scenario. It's closer to most likely scenarios based on recent emission trends. Oh, did you get those from Volvo and BMW? Where'd you get those emission ratings? I don't suppose you got those from East Anglia University, did you? Considering sea level rise, for example, the future rise could be a little smaller or a little larger or a lot larger. Nobody is responding to this 25% sea level rise tax. I think there's still a lot of room for optimism. We can have a really big impact on the outcome of sea level rise. It's not like it's completely too late and there's nothing we can't do about it. That's not true. Don't get your hopes up for Helen Amanda Fickler. She's a researcher at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography. She should be in an institution, but okay. Parroting and echoing the point. The next few years will be a pivotal period for decision-making with regards to Antarctica. As we observe the system for longer, we see more and more changes of the type we feared. Depending upon what's decided, we could be looking at significant and irreversible changes in the next 50 years. Sure. You betcha. Pushing 30 after. 30 at the top. I am Scooter McGee. When we come back, we'll get to On This Day in Illuminati History. And I got a couple of things going on. I think they're out in the car, actually. No, I got some announcements. I'll bring them in. I thought I did. They could be under my briefcase. Yeah, we're 30 after, 30 at the top. When we come back, more headlines for tomorrow, 6/15/18, and we'll get to On This Day in Illuminati History. From the CRP 4x4 studios, I'm Scooter McGee. We'll be right back.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it, so can you.
For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
This
is Dave Frazier from KWGN Channel 2 Pinpoint Weather. We're going to go partly cloudy, breezy, and into the 50s, upper 50s overnight tonight. We'll be in the low 90s tomorrow with a couple of scattered thunderstorms late in the afternoon and early evening. Then we cool into the upper 80s on Saturday with a pretty good chance for showers and thunderstorms, especially late in the day. And Sunday is looking mostly cloudy with a high near 80 and a pretty good chance for showers.
This weather update is brought to you by North Range Behavioral Health. Visit northrange.org.
So you think the Pawn Stars are in Vegas, huh? Have you been to City National Pawn? 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley, and you're the Pawn Star. With great deals on commercial and industrial tools, electronics, smartphones, laptops, and fine jewelry, so many great deals and a constantly changing inventory guarantee you get the best deal in town at City National Pawn. Need quick cash fast? City National Pawn has got you covered there too. Monday through Friday and Saturdays, remember, you're the Pawn Star at City National Pawn, 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley.
What may be junk to you just might be another man's treasure. From stamps, sports memorabilia, silverware, or old jewelry, what may be junk to you just might be another man's treasures. Located at 2002 9th Street in Greeley, Another Man's Treasures can take these old items and convert them into cold, hard cash. Located at 2002 9th Street, remember, Another Man's Treasure.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market, and it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right, serve the client, turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change, but Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
Last time on the Hull Show.
So far of this vibrant poll question, who will win the Mountain West Football Conference this upcoming season? I got CSU, Boise State, we got Wyoming, Air Force, Utah State, Fresno State, San Diego State. 56% say CSU. My Rams hooligans out there, you guys have been starting the weekend a little bit early today. Listen, I love the Rams, you know I do, but they have so many question marks.
This has been the Hull Show replay. For more, tune in weekdays from 11 to 1 on 1310 KFKA.
Mental health and addiction issues affect 1 in 4 people. Most of us have faced a behavioral health challenge or love someone who has. North Range Behavioral Health Treatment programs work. People really can recover and become stronger. They offer programs to help you and your family, no matter your age, in many Weld County locations, including crisis support services, a counseling center in West Greeley, and additional offices in Greeley, Frederick, and Fort Lupton. For information, call 970-347-2120 or in Southern Weld County, 303-857-2723.
The problem with most gyms is, well, they're gyms. Double Diamond CrossFit knows what it takes to get the results you're looking for. CrossFit is high-intensity, short workouts designed to improve your core and cardiovascular strength. Double Diamond CrossFit has classes throughout the day with certified coaches. You show up, warm up, and build your better body, all with the support of the CrossFit family. Double Diamond CrossFit on the corner of 59th Avenue and 10th Street in Greeley. Call 970-302-2024. And don't forget to ask how you can get a free week on us.
Well, I'm glad to hear Chris is okay. What's the condition of his car?
It can be fixed. I'm just waiting to hear from my insurance adjuster as to where.
We'll take it over to Auto Collision Specialists. They've repaired my cars for years.
I wanted to, but my adjuster says I'll have to pay additional costs out of my own pocket to have it repaired at Auto Collision Specialists.
Stop. You pay your insurance premiums in good faith every month with the expectation that if you have an accident, your insurance company will pay what's necessary to repair your car correctly. In many cases, that's not what happens. Scare tactics like threatening to make you pay out of pocket or not warranting the work are tricks that will not be tolerated at Auto Collision Specialists. You can rest assured we have your best interests at heart and will do everything in our power to make sure your insurance company fulfills its commitment to you. Remember, insurance companies don't fix cars. We do.
Auto Collision Specialists, we'll take care of that.
Cutting-edge commentary from the edge of reality. The Scooter McGee Show is back on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
Sorry, this one got stuck in my head. There's no other way I can beat it out. I gotta play it out. It's not an FCC violation, but it'll be close. I actually had Denver police interrogate me as a potential arson suspect for another nightclub fire with this song going on. They knew I didn't do it. So if I could... Oh, no. So I know it sounded bad. It wasn't. So the guy standing there, just hold on for a minute. Let me put on a long song. We can talk. And I got this. Seriously, Scooter? They thought I was a suspect because I saw in the news there was a fire going on. As soon as we got off the air, we were doing the 80s Retro Dance Party. I called my old bar owner. I said, if you need we need the water cleaned up, I'll help. Next thing I know, the rumors running around Denver that I torched a nightclub. I contract that work out to others. But I mean, before we even get to the first chorus here, the cop's already going, look, Scooter, relax. We know it's not you. We got a suspect. We do? Yeah, and you know him. That's a true story. Okay, that's good. 118, I can go anywhere now from there. Let's go to On This Day in Illuminati history. No, I left one of my nightclubs. I got traded, and I went to another nightclub, and about 8 months later, there was a fire. And there was a horrible rumor circulating that I was a suspect, and I was freaking out. And I employed 6 Denver off-duty cops, 2 SWAT, 2 gang unit, and 2 patrol guys. And they're like, Scooter, we're not in the investigation. We don't know anything. Yeah, your name keeps coming up. Why? I didn't do anything. And then sure, it's Friday night. It's in the middle of the 80s Retro Dance Party, 11:30, and in he comes. And I just went ghost white. And he's standing behind me, and I can feel him. And I put my hand up with my one finger. I'm working the room forward, so I'm looking at him through my back eyes, and I just put my hand up, one finger, 1 minute. Give me a minute. And I go, are you here for this? He goes, yes, we have to talk. Hold on. Let me put on a long song. And I dumped the room, threw that on. Now, Damon, just in case you're paying attention, this one's only 7 minutes long. This is only... Yeah, there's 2 longer versions. We don't have time for those. All right. Oh, yeah, remind me. Yeah, so that's why I got stuck in my head. Would you people leave me alone of radio stations that I don't work for anymore? I'm very flattered by your compliments. The 80s Retro Dance Party was literally 20 years ago. When you tell me you grew up listening to me do that gag every Friday night, that tells me that you're not even 40 years old and that I'm a dinosaur. Whew. Now, I was flattered. I just wanted to curl up in a ball and die. Headline 6:15. Here we go. 1389, the Ottoman Turks now crushing Serbia in the Battle of Kosovo. It is 1607 here in North America. Colonists complete now James Fort in Jamestown, Virginia. It is on this day, 1752, Benjamin Franklin decides to go out and fly a kite during a thunderstorm. He was actually conducting an experiment by flying a kite. The result was a little spark that showed the relationship between lightning and electricity. 1775, George Washington now appointed as head of the Continental Army by the Second Continental Congress. 1836, Arkansas now becoming the 25th U.S. state. It is on this day, homage to Arizona. Charles Goodyear now granted a patent for the process that strengthens rubber. I believe that's vulcanization. It is on this day, 1864, the order to establish a military burial ground signed by Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton. Location later becoming known as Arlington National Cemetery. 1866, Prussia attacks Austria. 1898, House of Representatives now approves the annexation of Hawaii. It is on this day, 1911, the Computing, Tabulating, Recording Company, now incorporated in the state of New York. You know it as IBM, Watson. Hitler knew it as IBM and Watson, too. It is on this day, 1916, God rest the soul. I'm sorry, President Woodrow Wilson signing the bill incorporating the God rest the souls of the Boy Scouts of America. It is on this day, 1940, the French fortress of Verdun captured by the Germans. 1944, American forces begin their successful invasion of Saipan. 1947, an all-Indian Congress accepting the British plan for the partition of India. 1948, Soviet authorities announced the Autobahn will be enclosed indefinitely for repair. It is on this day, 1978, King Hussein of Jordan marries American Lisa Halaby. She becomes Queen Noor. 83, the Supreme Court reinforcing its position on abortion by striking down state and local restrictions on abortions. 86, the Pravda. No, not Greeley Pravda. No. I mean, the real worthless couple color fish wrap. It is the Soviet Union. Pravda, the Communist Party newspaper, reporting that the chief engineer of the Chernobyl plant had been dismissed for mishandling an incident at the plant. It was a mishandling of an incident. Yeah, that's exactly what it wasn't. You want to talk about the Peter Principle inside the Communist Party. The engineer they are referring to was a tool. He was a party idiot. He authorizes a test. The test is to test, which is not unlike 3 Mile Island, but it's in the scenario of the 70s movie, The China Syndrome. What they are wanting to do at Chernobyl is, by definition, a static test, meaning that as the reactor comes offline, the turbine just doesn't stop. It's still spinning. It's now starting to slow. How much power can we pull out of that before it technically goes offline? All the engineers in the room told him he was an idiot. They continued, well, if you're going to tell us to order this test, then you're going to sign in the paperwork in the logbooks here. He then starts berating and yelling at everybody because he knows everything in management. He went to school. He knows what's going on here. Yeah. The guy who was in charge of the plant was at home in bed. This was the third shift. This was the B squad. No one had the balls or the courage to stand up to this guy. In the meantime, with the power drain, the computers are reading one set of signals, the engineers are reading another set of signals, and all hell broke loose. And ultimately it falls down to water pressure. And the idea of the fuel rods as they were being pulled out to deactivate the reactor, then forcing them back into the water. There was a hot spot as they dropped the rods back in. And I'm sorry, just in case you missed any of the media in the last 30 plus years, there was a little problem then at the reactor. And, everyone who attempted any rescue effort in that endeavor is dead. So even though the, again, chief engineer, no, The guy in charge was at home in bed. Incompetence. The guy who was on watch in charge was not nuclear. He was a regular power plant guy. He was on the axe. He knew his head was on the block. He wanted a promotion. And he knew if he could get this test rammed down and it was successful, that would go in his favor with the party. Because remember, it's got nothing to do about your country. It's all about your party politics. Our founding forefathers would be rolling over in graves. Sorry, I went way long on that explanation. Everything I just said on that is absolutely factual, though. Tomorrow, 92, Dan Quayle screws up potato. I know where I was. Okay. That's it. I'm done. I know exactly where I was. I don't want to go. Can I get a lobotomy? I want a tumor. Suicide pills. Is there something to end this nightmare right now? Oh, commercial break. Good. All right. 47 after, 13 to the top. You know, I could actually tell you what the record high temperatures were for this day, 1992. You know where I am. Yeah, not on this planet. I'm laughing because I know where I had lunch and I had who I had lunch with. Former Arizona sports broadcaster and politician J.D. Hayworth. He was TV, I was radio. We were buddies, and we were drinking buddies in Arizona. It's a beautiful world. That's also a true story.
Beautiful people everywhere. The way they show they care makes me want to say it's a beautiful world.
The Army National Guard is committed to keeping the country safe and our communities secure. Composed of hundreds of thousands of citizen soldiers from all walks of life, the Guard is always ready to respond to local or national emergencies. We protect the homeland. We're always there when called upon, and in every state and territory, we stand guard for our communities. To learn more, log on to NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Colorado Army National Guard. Aired by the Colorado Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you happy with your auto service or repair shop? Good. Stick with them, as we know how hard it can be to find someone reliable and efficient. For those of you who haven't found that dependable shop, here's a suggestion. Auto Tailor. They take the time to learn about the customer and their specific wishes for their vehicle. They won't assume you want X done when all you really need is Y. If the customer isn't happy, Auto Tailor's not happy either. Given an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, Auto Tailor is the smart, reliable choice for your vehicle. Call 353-3401 or visit them online at autotailor.com.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market. And it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right. Serve the client. Turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change. But Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
The problem with most gyms is, well, they're gyms. Double Diamond CrossFit knows what it takes to get the results you're looking for. CrossFit is high intensity, short workouts designed to improve your core and cardiovascular strength. Double Diamond CrossFit has classes throughout the day with certified coaches. You show up, warm up, and build your better body, all with the support of the CrossFit family. Double Diamond CrossFit on the corner of 59th Avenue and 10th Street in Greeley. Call 970-302-2024. And don't forget to ask how you can get a free week on us.
Cutting-edge commentary from the edge of reality. The Scooter McGee Show is back on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Al Parinello, founder of PreserveTheAmericanDream.com, and you're listening to The Scooter McGee Show on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
Guys, versions where they don't lip sync. Where'd you get this off? The Mike Douglas show? Welcome back. All right, I stand corrected. So what, that's a voiceover dub? There's a live audience. You can hear him, but that's clearly his voice. So it's just the loop of the music. Got steel cat. No, just the regular one will be fine. Yeah, but where'd you guys get this one? Mike Douglas or something? Dick Cavett, yes, okay. Don't even go on Dick Cavett on Dan Quayle. Yeah, what the hell did I do wrong with my life? No, seriously. So my office is across the street at the Arizona Republic. JD's doing contract work for the Arizona I'm at the Arizona Center, but across the street is the Arizona Republic, and he was doing contract work. But he was a TV sportscaster and did radio work, but he was a personality in Phoenix. He and I shared a common love of alcohol. I ran bars, he went to bars. There was a camaraderie there. We were a rather mismatched pair, actually, in public, if you know who I'm speaking of, former legislator in Arizona, former broadcaster J.D. Hayworth. He's a big guy, and I'm just kind of a little irritating idiot. But I now come to Denver, and the station I was with gets absorbed and moved in the 2000 census based on demographics, 96.5 The Peak. And I moved to, initially, there was a quick attempt at trying to do the nights on the Mix 100 side. Did not work, so they moved. Ultimately, they just moved the guys to Ellis. They moved the women over to Cozy. But I'm in Denver now, and I forget what I could go back and look. But so now J.D. Hayworth has announced he's running for. Are you kidding me? Oh, no. He's never going to win. He won? What the hell am I doing here? Serve the broadcast community, serve the constituency, and now he's living in retirement and life as well. What the hell did I do wrong? I still insist I'd like to know whose car I peed on, if only so I could attempt to make reparations and amends. Oh. All right, Anthony Bourdain, we're out. In case you missed it, France decided to incinerate. I mean, they cremated him. His remains will be coming home tomorrow. There was no autopsy. Scientists now are able to, black holes aren't what we thought, that they suck everything in, because in this case, we now have imaging, that credit coming from Sophia DeGanolo out of NRAO and UAI-NSF. It's the artist's conception of the tidal disruption event, the TDE, that happens when a star passes, quote, fatally close to a supermassive black hole. Those stories and more up on social media. I'm not going to hit the Antarctica crap anymore because it's kind of ridiculous at this point. I'm trying to stay off the Trump stories, and I'll tell you why. I don't support him. I don't hate him. I'm furious in the fact that we are pushing 2 years and what minimal legislation has been done, the reality is most Americans are just simply being left behind. The numbers that are being touted are not showing up across the United States. Minimum wage is not minimum wage. It's a working wage, and it's not for people. They're taking people out of the loop and putting in computers and autonomous kiosks and order up apps and all of that. We're not exporting anything other than debt, and it seems that our time now is up. But, yes, it's POTUS 45's birthday. But touting the World Cup, I'm sorry. Even here at 1310 KFK, our own news and sports director, Troy Coverdale, winner of more CBAs than I've probably been in broadcasting. I've been in 33 years. I'll bet you Troy's got 30 or 40 awards. Pointing out, and again, I can paraphrase what he said, but how about if I just give you the headline? Gee, I wonder if it's still in here. Yeah, over 50% of the World Cup soccer games are rigged. Wow. From the Daily Mail, ESPN, the Herald Sun. Yeah, you're right. I made that up. That's what I did. I just made that number up. Vladimir Putin says that the Russian women can have sex with the soccer stars. Some idiot last night in the Denver overnight media was trying to explain to everybody how great it is because we're in the central time zone. We're in the mountain time zone, you tool. We're in the same time zone as Bogota. No, Washington, D.C. would be in the same time zone as Bogota. I don't know what map you're reading or what app you're using, but Jesus, could you get your facts right? Denver, Colorado is not centrally located for any World Cup activity. Yeah, we're on Bogota's time zone. You betcha. Yeah, you bet. We're centrally located in the United States. Yeah, no, we're not. That would be Omaha. Why do you think they put the Strategic Air Command in the center of the United States? And to that same broadcasting Denver tool who's also stealing some of my tricks here, why don't you Google a word now, Bilderberg, since last hour's show and this hour's show will be tagged with them, little factoids and turdlets you can use. Denver and Bogota are in the same time zone. Wow. Sucks being number one in your head, doesn't it? We'll be back, Gotham. Matt Rivette.